Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Rama Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Prabhupada ki, Nrsimha Bhagavatam ki. Where is the book? I made the same mistake. I must throw this out again. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiyaitam Nashtapraisya Patreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sulam Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nishtikim Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we continue reading from the 5th canto, chapter 13, Rahugan converses with Jad Bharat. Yesterday we did text number 12, isn't it? Yes. So today is text number 13. Anya Vidya Vyati Sangha Vidya Vaira Anubhanga Nita Advani Anusmi Guru Kricha Rita Bhada Upashanaihi viharam vipanaha anyo vidya vadisangha vidya varanubhando vivamitasya advansmi nirukichavita advansmi nirukichavita sorry bando pasanga anyo navidya vatisanga vida bando vivamitasya advansmi nirukichavita Bado pasanga viharam
Anyo navita sangha vitta Vairānubandho vivahamitascha Adhānyamusmin urukritra vitta Bado pasakai viharam vipannaha Anyonya vritta vityati singha Vairānubandho virahamitascha Adhānyamusmin urukritra vritta Adho pasargai viharam vipannaha
Anyonya vritta vyati sangha vritta Vairānubandho vivahamitascha Adhānyamusmin urukritra vitta Bado pasargai viharam vipannaha Anyonya vritta vyati sangha vritta Vairānubandho vivahamitascha Adhānyamusmin urukritra vitta Bado pasargai viharam vipannaha.
Translation. Due to monetary transactions, relationships become very strained and end in enmity. Sometimes the husband and wife walk on the path of material progress, and to maintain their relationship, they work very hard. Sometimes due to scarcity of money or due to diseased conditions, they are embarrassed and almost die. Purport. In this material world, there are many transactions between people and societies, as well as between nations, but gradually these end in enmity between the two parties. Similarly, in the marriage relationship, monetary transactions are sometimes overpowered by the dangerous conditions of material life. One then becomes diseased or monetarily embarrassed. In the modern age, most countries have developed economically due to business exchanges. Relationships seem to be strained. Finally, wars are declared between nations as a result of these upheavals. There is destruction all over the world and people suffer heavily. Om Gyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Salakayam Chakshurumritam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is the continuation of the preaching of Vijaya Bharat to King Rahu Gana. And today he says that due to monetary transactions, relationships become very strained and end in enmity. Sometimes husband and wife walk on the path of material progress, and to maintain their relationship, they work very hard, sometimes due to scarcity of money or due to disease conditions, they are embarrassed and almost die. So Bhagavad Gita says, what is this? Janma, Mirtu, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosha, Anudarshanam. That there are four evils that living entities experience in this world: birth, Janma. Also they experience diseases, and then old age, and then finally death. So some of them are mentioned here, but due to scarcity of money, due to diseases, they are embarrassed and almost die. So because these are predominant factors of the material world. Janma, to be born, there are diseases, old age, and then finally people die. But a living entity who is living in this material world, he thinks that this will never happen to me. Huh? So that is the covering. Avaranatmika prakshepatmika. The material energy covers us and covers the knowledge that we are spirit souls. Therefore Krishna says, Mama Vamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Mana Sastrandhyani Prakristani Karshati. That the life of struggle is due to lacking this knowledge that we are parts and parcels of Him. That's Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse number 7. And the next verse, 15:8, says, Shariram yad avat nopi. That because of that forgetfulness, the living entity, when he leaves the body, Shariram yad avat nopi, he takes with him his previous consciousness or conceptions to the next life. Vayur Gandhar Varshat, just like the air carries the aroma. Life after life, as a result, he is born into certain situations. He acquired a body with different facilities, different ears, different eyes, to continue where he left off. So this is what is called samsara. I was explaining this day. samsara visha vrikshaksha. That this samsara, the material existence, is compared to be like a forest. And then this forest is said to produce only what? Visha, poison. You remember? What is that poison? I'm a teacher actually. I don't preach, I teach. Yeah, because so visha means sense enjoyment. It becomes poison. Why? This is what is explained here. That due to monetary transactions, relationships become very strained and end in enmity. So that's a poison of working for sense gratification, because we become envious of each other. And then as a result, our relationships end up in enmity. Sometimes husband and wife walk on the path of material progress, and to maintain their relationship, they work very hard. Sometimes due to scarcity of money or due to disease conditions, they are embarrassed and almost die. We can see that in the material world there are so many divorces. Even in ISKCON, so many divorces. Why is that? It's the same thing. Yeah, sometimes people get married and then they realize, oh, another partner, this guy has no money. Oh, how many this guy has no money? Yeah, the mind starts changing now. Because when you live with a person, the real person comes out. When you don't stay with people, they can act as being superwoman, superman. But when you live with them, you see, wow, he's not. And now you start doubting. Have you noticed that when you live with people, it is different? But when you are friends visiting each other maybe once a month, and then you don't really party, you sleep with a guy in the same room, you realize he's snoring. How long am I going to live with this hippo? He's snoring. You start finding so many things. Yeah. It's like once I was in one temple as a brahmachari. I was sleeping in this room in one brahmachari. He told me at night, I'm very sensitive. Every movement he makes, I get up. He said, I'm a very sensitive sleeper. Some people know that you can drag them out of the room, they won't feel it. Yeah? So that way, this is our conditioning. Yeah. So when you live with a person, this comes out. Yeah, his frailties, his weakness, everything just comes out. Yeah. Anyway, this is material world. So the Bhagavatam, it explains us, it gives us the truth, the naked truth about this material world. Because why? The goal is liberation, moksha. So everything that we are doing, the goal is liberation. But sometimes we forget and then think that the goal is to make this material world nice, enjoyable, make it comfortable, but it doesn't become comfortable. But its nature is to kalayam ashasvatam. It's a place where problems happen at any step. But momentarily we may experience some happiness. And sometimes we get good weather and again bad weather come. So it's a place of dualities. So this is what Bharat is explaining here. So this is a very short chapter, but it's full of amazing explanations. It's only 26 verses. And then it is divided into 3 parts. The first part from verse 1 to 8, you find that it explains how Jat Bharat, having come to Brahman realization, how he preaches to Rahugan. He says, my dear king, the living entity, as he wanders in this material world, he comes to this forest. What is this forest? It means life of enjoyment. It's like a forest. And then this forest of material enjoyment, he says that there are so many disturbing things. And one is that he accepts birth and death. And then in that forest of material life, he says that there are 6 powerful enemies who plunders the living entity. What are those enemies? 6 enemies that plunders the living entity. So it's very, very interesting. So these enemies, they plunder him. And then he says that there are mosquitoes in this forest that stings him. Cruelly, they sting the living entities. So the mosquitoes are representing enemies. And then the 6 enemies represents Vijita Sadguna. 6 bad qualities: lust, anger, greed, etc. So there are so many points here in these just 26 verses. These all plunder the living entity. They plunder him. He is talking from his experience. So we all know, if we know, that this same Jat Bharat, he was who he was before. He was called King Bharat. You know it? You all knew about this, we haven't read much. You don't know the story of this Jat Bharat? How many of you know the story? Yeah? So he was a King Bharat. King Bharat was an elder son of one king, Rishabh. So Rishabh, when he left the kingdom, he instructed all his sons to become saintly people. So Bharat was the elder. So Bharat, after some time, after ruling the kingdom, he decided to go to the forest and perfect himself. While he was in the forest, something happened. Who remembers? A deer, yes. A deer appeared to be threatened by she had a sound of a lion. As she was running, she crossed a small stream. When she jumped, it happened so, the impact was such that she gave birth, and then the baby deer fell into the water. She carried on running. So Jat Bharat saw this King Bharat, before he became Jat Bharat, he saw this. And then he rushed to the water to save that baby that was being washed away. And then, after that, brought the baby deer back to his ashram. And then what happened?
He got attached.
He got attached, yes. So he was nursing the baby deer. I always wonder how did he feed the baby, because there was no milk there in the forest. But somehow or other, he managed to take care of the baby deer, and the baby deer became attached to him like a cat. And this baby deer grew. And after some time, he started wandering on his own, just to check the forest and enjoy, like many youth. They want to experience things. So then one day he went around, never came back. So then what happened to King Bharat? He became worried. Why was he worried? Because he was attached to the deer. He was thinking of the deer to be like his own son, like a prince. The deer is no prince, it's just an animal. But attachment makes us think like that, isn't it? Oh, my son is like a prince. My daughter is a princess. We are just attached. Even now we hear people saying that. My wife is a queen, I am the king. Oh, queen, she will call him, oh, king. You guys know king. It's just because we are attached. We create distance. So Bharat was thinking like that. Oh, this dear, oh, he was like a prince. I remember how he used to brush me with his tiny horns. As he was thinking like that, he was becoming more and more bewildered. So then, he decided to go around, look for the deer. He went around. So in the forest, there was a hill that was covered by grass. As he was walking towards a cliff. And then he fell. When he fell over, what was happening? In his mind, what came out? What a deer. And then, bang, lost his body and he became a deer. So as a deer, also he remembered that I was trying to perfect my life in spiritual life and I became attached to the deer. This time I'm not going to become attached to anybody. As a deer, he was very careful. And he performed tapasya. And then after leaving that body of a deer, he became Jat Bharat. As Jat Bharat, he became Jat, not talking, pretending to be dumb. But he was an intelligent person, but he was afraid of mingling because that could lead to attachment. He decided he's just going to pretend to be dumb, and his family, they were just giving him leftover food. They didn't like him. They made him guide the farm. Imagine at night he would be there at the farm, guiding the farm. They mistreated him in so many ways, but he didn't say anything. And then finally he was stolen and brought to this king as a carrier of a palanquin. And then of course this king also mistreated him in so many ways, calling him a dumb person, calling him so many names. So this is the material world. It's a place of envy. People are so envious that they will call you names without even any offense on your part, because you don't fulfill their enjoyment. Because he was not carrying the palanquin proper, he saw ants on the ground, trying to avoid them. So this king was abusing him. After some time, he started speaking. The king was shocked. This damn giant person, he can speak. He's a saint. So therefore, it is said that this material world, even though it is like a tree of poison, but it produces true succulent fruits. One is the Shastra, and then the second fruit are the people who speak the Shastra. Why is that? Because in this forest of material existence, we can only be delivered by those two, the scripture and people who speak the scripture. Not clowners who come and joke and make us laugh. They will never deliver us. Yes. Those who speak the scripture, like Jat Bharat, they are really the magnanimous persons. Because these scriptures are full of narrations about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is our real well-wisher. Krishna says, Bhuktaram Yogi Tapasa Sabaloka Maheshwara Suyam Sarvabhutam Gvatamam Jati Rijati, that I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities, and I am the Lord of all, including the demigods. I am the well-wishing friend of all living entities. I am the one who gives them. I am their benefactor. Yes. So anyone who understands this can attain peace from the pangs of material existence. So the sadhus are the really well-wishers of all of us. It's just that we don't want the truth about our existence. So then the words of the sadhus like Jat Bharat, they feel like bitter medicine. So this king was thinking, I'm an enjoyer here, I'm a king, you're such a rascal, you're not carrying my palanquin proper. Are you dumb like animal? He was insulting him so many ways. So for enjoyment, people insult so many people. So that's what he is explaining here, that relationships become very strained and end in enmity. Sometimes the husband and wife walk on the path of material progress, and to maintain their relationship work very hard, sometimes due to scarcity of money or due to disease condition, they are embarrassed and almost die. So that way, this is the nature of the material world. Sometimes we are embarrassed, sometimes there is progress, but eventually we have to liberate ourselves. If we overly identify or become attached to temporal things, and then we become embarrassed. So that's what Bhagavatam is teaching. So Srimad Bhagavatam, it teaches about the absolute reality, about the absolute nature of God. What is the nature of God? Is that entity who is of pure, who is said to be pure spirit. What makes God pure spirit is that he is that entity who takes support from himself. And there is nothing similar or dissimilar that is self-existent except this entity that we call God. Even though the Lord takes support from his energies, but these energies cannot have independent existence without the Lord as their absolute foundation. So those are the statements of Tattva Sandalpa. So we can see here that it is said, it is explained also in Tattva Sandalpa that this Vastu, or the absolute reality, is said so because it has three aspects. One of these aspects is us, living being. We are his energy or expansion. That's why it says, Mama Bamsu Jivaloke. All living entities are my parts. And then another aspect is the material world. The material world is a governing energy of the Lord that is it governs this material world. So that way, this understanding, it helps us to understand how we are dominated by material nature. But we think we are dominating nature. We think we're in control. So that's why Jat Bharat is preaching to this king. He thought that he was a controller of this material nature. And he was harassing so many people, engaging them in his own service, like he is God of this material nature. So that way, this was the preaching of Jagparat. He is explaining so many things. How this material nature is like a puzzle. When you think you got things right, and then it turns that no, you got it wrong. So this king, he thought that he had everything right. He was the controller of many people. And he had a successful kingdom. But actually, it is all temporal. Phantasmagoria, like a palace up in the sky, which does not exist. So that way, when we study Bhagavatam with a system, it's easy to understand. I was explaining yesterday that when we hear Bhagavatam with certain protocols, what are those protocols? Number one, in any learning system, we gain knowledge. Number two, we gain what is called skills, which means the points that we can apply in life. And number three, we also gain what is called values. Values means what is important about the subject matter at hand. So here, the subject is liberation. How the living entity can become liberated from this material existence. So when we get these points, we put them into practice that is called Anushtana. There are 5 stages of learning. One is called Shravan. Shravan means you hear attentively. It's just like when I was doing Bhagavatam in Bhakti Vaibhava, you have to hear attentively because you're going to write exams. But when you're in the temple, you just pick up whatever you like. But when you do the course, you have to hear everything because you don't know what is coming out from examination. So that is called Shravan. And then there is the second stage, it's called Nididhyasana in Vedic learning. Nididhyasana means you inquire, you ask questions. And then Dharan. Dharan means understanding. And then understanding leads to the 4th stage, Anushtana, which means practical application. And then the 5th is called Darshana. Your consciousness become magnified. That's why we say, Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanam Jana Shalakaya Chakshur Umitanjana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master did right. What's the translation? Opened my eyes. What?
Torchlight of knowledge.
Exactly. With the torchlight of knowledge. I was born in darkness of ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes with torchlight. That's the business of a guru, is to educate you. Not to give you jokes, make you laugh, but it's to teach you. That's the business of guru. Guru means ignorance. Ru means the removal of ignorance. Yes. So I was born in darkness of ignorance. My Guru Maharaj opened my eyes. So that 5th stage of learning is called darshan. Your eyes are open. You can see. Because you see through Shastra. Just like we take darshan every day, but our seeing is not perfect because we are not seeing the Lord. The Lord is seeing us. Yes. When the Lord is seeing us, when the Lord allows us His darshan, then we will see. Nagarjuna says, I do not have the eyes, Krishna. I want to see your universal form. Krishna says, okay, I will give you the eyes. And Arjuna saw. But without the Lord giving us the eyes to see, we cannot see. So that's darshan. Through training, we can come to this platform where we see. When our eyes are opened, right? With the torchlight of knowledge, the Guru gave that. So Arjuna began to see. He was seeing so many things. He became frightened also. But in the beginning he says, "Oh Achyuta, bring my chariot between the two armies so that I can see all those who have come here to please the evil-minded sons of Dhritarashtra." Krishna says, okay, come here. All the Kauravas who have gathered here, just see. What did he see? His friends, teachers, and then what happened? He started crying. He started lamenting. He's not really saying. He was not saying. And Krishna, what did he say? What is Krishna's response to his crying and complaints? Exactly. He was seeing but not seeing reality. He was seeing, he's seeing illusion. His body is different. So Krishna says, you are a fool, you are not a scholar. You are talking knowledge, but you are not really seeing. So that way, this is the essence of spiritual life. To be able to have our eyes opened. And then Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. So that stage is called darshan. Beginning with Shravan, hearing attentively, nididhyasana, one inquiring proper, dharan understanding, anushtana. We begin to apply what we are learning and then bring us to that platform. We say, Om Jnanati Mirandasya. I was born in darkness of ignorance, but my Guru opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. Now I can see. I was blind. I was born in darkness, now I can see. What do we see? We see reality in illusion. Like Krishna says, yes, or Bhagavatam, it says, Rite artam yat pratyeta na pratyeta chatmani atmano maya yatapasa yatatama. That the Lord is telling Brahma that whatever is sin in this creation, whatever we see, if that is sin, not in relation to me, you should understand that to be an illusion that appears to be darkness. So that person whose eyes are opened to torchlight of knowledge by the Guru, he sees reality. Yes, you see. But when we're in darkness, we don't see. We see, like Arjuna, he's seeing his friends, he's seeing, sorry. It is not seeing. Krishna said, no, you are not seeing. You are lamenting for that which is not worth of lamentation. That's your problem. It didn't flatter him. He said, no, you are not seeing. But in the beginning he said, I want to see. He said, okay, here you are, see. So this is very, very important. So here, King Rahugan also, he thought that he was a scholar, he was a king, he was a very wise man. But he was not seeing, because he was just abusing Jat Bharat like an animal. And when he started speaking, he like, wow, he was shocked. And immediately accepted him as his Guru. And he became enlightened. This is the beauty of the Srimad Bhagavatam, that it gives us an understanding how the living entity can be elevated from lower conditions just by accepting the knowledge that comes from the spiritual master. So those are two succulent fruits that this material world produces. The scripture and the sadhus that speak the scriptures, like Jat, Bharat, and many others. And that's why we say, I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. We have to believe that. Yeah, that I was born in darkness of ignorance. And that knowledge can carry us out of this dark forest of material existence. Because it becomes like a torchlight. You know, at night when it is dark, you have a torch, you can see, oh, I'm heading towards a stone, and you avoid it. Yeah, we can see, but if it's dark, you can't see. You may trip and break your legs before you reach your destination. Huh? But when you have a torchlight, then it's easy to see. You walk very safely. So that spiritual knowledge becomes like a torchlight in this dark tunnel called material existence. Huh? Have you felt like that the Guru has given me this torchlight? Yes. That's Guru's business, to give you the torchlight of knowledge. Yes. Not to amuse you. The Guru has to give you torchlight of knowledge. So when you have the torchlight of knowledge, you will see where you are going. And there is no fear or anxiety. But as long as you are in darkness, there's always anxiety. Like Arjuna, he was crying, oh, he was saying to Krishna, I heard by disciplic succession that those who destroy Kula Dharma, family traditions, dwell in hell always. How is it that you are asking me to engage in this ghastly warfare? He is asking these questions. He's questioning Krishna. And Krishna began to explain, what is real duty? What is your duty? He gave him knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that is the essence of Bhagavatam. It gives us understanding what is our real duty in this forest of material existence. And how by sticking to our duties while carrying the torch of knowledge that we receive from Guru, how we can cross to the other side, to light. And how it will be wonderful when we cross to the other side. But while traveling in the forest, sometimes we get attracted by fruits of the forest. We got attracted by deers like Jat Bharat. He went to the forest, he became attracted to a deer, he became attached. Yeah. So when we study Bhagavatam, like scrutinizingly, these points come out. Now, for example, Jat Bharati was also in the forest, and then suddenly he came in contact with a deer, became attached to the deer. So now other people say, oh, he was so compassionate. Just like Arjuna, he saw the Kauravas, and he thought, oh, why should we fight? This fight will be destroying all my relatives and all my friends. So Jat Bharat also, he thought, oh, this poor deer. That compassion is good, but it was wrongly applied. If he wanted to save the deer, he should have taken the deer and leave the forest, go and find some families and say, I found this deer, he lost his mother, please adopt him. He was not in a position of keeping the deer. You understand? He was not in a position of keeping the deer. Saving deer was okay, but he should have handed it over to some families or kings, not him living in the forest. He was not in a position of keeping animals. Sometimes we make some mistakes. I'm so compassionate. But this compassion can be not of ignorance also. Suppose we don't have knowledge. I'm so compassionate. No, we should have knowledge. Yes. You can apply your compassionate, but with compassion with knowledge. Like I'm serious. I can find a child maybe lost. That's okay. I mean, I have to find someone and say, this is a lost child. I cannot bring a child to my ashram and start, and act like a father to a child. No. I'm not. But saving the child, I can save the child in the meeting, just handing him over to people who are in a position to keep children, isn't it? That's intelligence. So you should have saved the deer, and then the next day leave the forest, take the deer, and find some families who are in a position of keeping animals. Does that make sense? Yes, that's what we call Oma Gyana Timirandasya Gyana Jana Shalakaya Chakshur Umitam Jana Dasmaj. Gurmaj, he saved me from my ignorance with the touchlight of knowledge. Otherwise, you can be a great scholar, theoretically, but be in a position of Maharaj Bharat. Not no. I was explaining what Krishna says yesterday. I quoted the verse, chapter 18, verse number 30, where he says, I will say, Pitivur Pravitir cha nivritis karya bhaya bhaya bandhan moksham chayaviti buddhi sapata sadviki. He says that understanding by which one knows what is out to be done, what is not out to be done, what is to be feared, what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is considered by me to be understanding or knowledge in the mode of goodness. Yes. So our knowledge should be able to allow us to know what is to be done in any situation. You understand? Yes. Otherwise, someone may be knowledgeable, but he may be overwhelmed by circumstances like Arjuna. So there are so many things that we can learn from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Of course, Arjuna was not a conditioned soul. He was acting like one, but still we can learn how to apply, how to act based on knowledge, chakshu. Otherwise, we will be knowledgeable, but at the same time, be confused. Yes, be confused.
Varnashram.
Huh?
Varnashram.
Varnashram.
Because no, what you were saying, sannyasi shouldn't keep a child. So
I'm just giving examples. That he had left the kingdom, he had taken renunciation, living in the forest. Saving the child, saving the baby deer was okay, but he should have taken that baby deer to people who keep animals, not him. He was not in a position of keeping the deer. Just like someone's in emergency, he can save a child. Maybe there is fire in the room, he can break the room and save that child. That's good. But he has to take him to some people who are in a position of keeping children. You cannot take a child and keep it in his ashram. Yeah, so he has to know what is to be done in any situation. That's knowledge. Being compassionate is okay, but you apply that compassion in something else. We have to have knowledge how to apply our compassion and kindness. Otherwise, you can be kind also not of ignorance. Like if say a snake is frozen outside, you bring the snake to your house, and then when it is warm, you start moving around wanting to bite your children. So that's dangerous. Yeah, we can be compassionate, but not exclusively compassionate. But we have to have knowledge what to do in any situation. Maybe if you like snakes, you can serve a snake, but not to the point where you bring him to the house and bite the children in the house. You have to know that the nature of the snake also is that he is dangerous. Yeah, he may be caught up in ice, but once he gets warmer, he may cause harm to our living entities in the house. So we should not create a dangerous situation for those who are around us. Okay, any question?
Yeah, my question is very good, very interesting class, Maharaj. My question is, sometimes you spoke about communication, and also when we were in Milan, you spoke about dangers that we face when we preach. Like in Africa, if you communicate wrongly, then you end up in prison or you end up losing your life. So I'm bringing all this information together, and my question is, when we preach now, many youth and many individuals we might not be able to help them, even though we're preaching to them. So we preach to youth at university in Bologna, maybe you will come in Bologna. So many are psychological disorders, or psychological disease that actually me and my wife are not able to help them.
Those who are mentally challenged.
Yeah, but many of them are these days.
In university.
Yeah, Italian youth.
Oh, the youth, yes. Yes, there are some reasons for that.
Yeah, so how do we understand this? What should we do? How should we behave in this situation?
Well, there are so many problems that lead to disorientation of youth. One is just a lifestyle where people engage in unlimited sense gratification to the point where they just damage themselves before even they reach 20 years. So then as a result of that, and then because the gratification is so high and they don't have the means to maintain their sense gratification programs, they go cuckoo. They go mentally disoriented. And that's what material life is about. It's just like the situation is such that if you don't succeed in your sense gratification, you become mentally blown up. And basically, what is happening is a situation of Rajagun and Damagun. We are dealing with people who are affected by Rajagun and Damagun. Taking drugs, indulgence in alcohol is in these modes. Rajagun, Damagun. So as a result of that, they become mentally disturbed, mentally bewildered, and mentally unsteady. These three states of mind are due to our influence by Rajagun and Tamagun, more of passion and more of ignorance. So any system of yoga is meant to bring the mind to some level of goodness. And then when one is elevated to goodness, and then he becomes peaceful. As long as one is acting or is leading a life that is under the Rajagun, Tamagun, he will always be disturbed. And but the question is how to help the youth. Yes. Basically, there are two reasons why they are mentally disturbed. It's because of indulging in activities that are promoting ignorance and passion in us. So now how to help them? We can help them by having like a spiritual program of chanting and hearing and taking prasadam and being in a kind of like a spiritual environment. In In Kenya, in Nairobi, we have what is called Hare Krishna Training Center. We purchased a building called just across the temple for that purpose. Those students who want to be healed, and they stay there and they practice. And we can have about 50. So maybe we should have a rehabilitation center. Of course, in Europe, people are very much, how can I say, they have so much facility to be crazy. I was doing books in England. I know Europe is different from Africa. Africa, they have like sense enjoyment, but they don't have facility like in Europe. The facilities are such that, I've seen that also in South America is like that. That it's normal to gratify your senses. Like I met one boy, he's like 15 years. I saw, he was wearing a ring. I asked him, "You are a schoolboy, why are you wearing a ring? Are you married?" He said, "No." "What is this ring for?" He said, "It means I have someone. It means I have a girlfriend." "I have a girlfriend." "Okay. Girlfriend, you have to wear a ring because you have a girlfriend." In a country where I come from, 15-year-old boy or girl is a child. He can't have a girlfriend. That's it. If he does, he's hiding it. He can't tell someone like me, here is my girlfriend. So this boy introduced me to his girlfriend. He was also a child. I said, "I'm a priest, I'm a sannyas." And he is a son of a devotee. He's introducing me to a girlfriend.
It's totally normal here.
It's normal here in Western country. Where I come from, a 15-year-old boy is a child. He can't have a girlfriend. If he does, he's hiding it. He can't introduce it to a priest like myself. He says, "So I just my girlfriend, Maharaj." In West, it's normal. So then I had to accept it. In these countries, it's normal. Okay, this is your girlfriend. Hare Krishna. But where I come from, it's like smoking. I saw a European girl in 1970s when I was a child. I think I was 14 years. One European girl, she started smoking. She was 14, I was 14. I was thinking my mother will kill me. There is no child of 14 years who can smoke where I come from. I said, these people are different. It's normal. They will be married also. Where I come from, a girl who starts smoking 14, 15, 16, no man will marry that boy. No sane person will marry even a girl who smokes cigarette, where I come from. People are so strict that it's like these things are very rare. That a girl who smokes and drinks, no man will marry her. This is where I come from. It's like, no. But in the West, these things are normal. It's normal, I saw. So I'm asking this boy, I'm thinking, hey, you are 15, you already have a girlfriend. It has to be sanctioned by the parents. Where I come from, there is no parent that will sanction that. 15 is underage, is very young. But in the West, it's normal. Can you imagine start beginning with Sensegratification from the age of 13? By the time you are 20 years, you are fully in it. So that's why there are so many people here who are suffering mental problems. It's because of the activities of Rajagun and Dhammagun. So by the time they are like 20 years, they are like totally mentally disoriented. It's like I was not on the internet until 2012. In my life, I never went to a nightclub. I don't know how it looked like. I only read about them when I came to ISKCON Prabhupada's books, that there is cocaine, there is drugs. If you show me cocaine, I don't know how it looked like. And that helped me to have memory. Still a memory. Otherwise, someone takes drugs, by the time they are 20, they had memory, mentality, mind is destroyed. So this sense gratification is killing the youth. Yeah, and then we go to hospitals. So the hospital, they give a drug. The drug will numb the senses so a person become like Jack Barrett temporarily. And then when the drug is over, and then the only thing is that they put another one to keep him undisturbed. Just numb him or her with drugs. So that's the problem. So if you want to help them, that means you have to create a center where you can bring them and you can engage them in the program of chanting and practicing spiritual life, staying away from the environment that is encouraging this madness. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah?
Thank you so much for your lecture. We are over time already. I can ask personally also if you have also we can still have this setting.
Sorry?
I just wanted to say that we are over time. I could ask personally if it's
Yes. Yeah,
anyone.
you can stop, you can ask me personally. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Shri Prabhupada ki, Kantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Bhakti Nrsimha Maharaj Swami ki.
Very well.
Thank you so much for your lecture. Just to this point, and then I have another question also. Nowadays the children are degrading also so much. Like the children.
Oh, the children, yes.
In primary school, they're talking
yes.
about all different kinds of things already.
That's not hard here. Also, I've seen that even in South America.
It's very bad, and even kids of devotees are in
Even the
very
kids of-
bad condition. Actually.
Yes.
So I was really thinking about we have to educate the children before they become dull in that sense. And
You mean the devotee children?
yeah, for example.
Well, for devotee children, we have to create facilities. Like we can have devotee schools where they can go and be in association with the spiritual environment. We are bringing children and we will take them to those kind of schools. They immediately become baptized in fire of materialism. Their association is very strong.
Yeah, exactly.
It's totally against anything Bhakti. The association that they are getting outside there. And it's like one devotee, he told me his experience about this. He was a guru, Grihastha. He thought, I thought my kids were devotees. One day my daughter told me, you always talk bad about Coca-Cola. I drink Coca-Cola. He said, I was shocked. You drink Coca-Cola? Yes. So because of those schools and association that they are getting there. So if we create our schools, at least we can give them something in a proper environment with devotees association. Otherwise, without devotee association in those schools, they become like those people. Yeah.
And also you're mentioning the books are actually leading us to liberation, to the highest goal we can ever achieve, and they're very strict sometimes, especially in Varnashrama and who should do what and so on. It's very strict, and nowadays people are not accustomed to be in Varnashrama system anymore. So should we try to apply the teachings how they are, like also here in schools? How
In schools?
yeah, like if we
No, you can be selective. You can select. All right. Preaching is an art. It's based on communications. And communications are based on three things: understanding people's area of interest, concerns, and needs. Like I was telling someone the other day that when I was in Los Angeles, I saw some nice books for children, and I brought them for my sister's kids, and I sent them. So they read the books, and they came to the temple. They called, "Uncle, can you come to the temple?" I said, "Yes." So then when they came, I made arrangements, just like at the house. They sit on tables, on chairs and tables. I arranged like that. And then I arranged biscuits, fruits, sweets, muffins, all the things that kids like. So they felt at home. Yeah, I didn't preach to them philosophy. I just treated them in such a way that they felt good at the temple. Up to this day, now they are working. My sister's daughter, when she was coming, she was 9 years. Now she's a married lady. But she still appreciates it. We used to have good time. You gave us good time at the temple. So in that way, it's about understanding different people. Children, we can make them feel good. Yes. We don't have to preach heavy philosophy.
Just now, very practically, I'm leading kids program here on Sunday, for example, around 2.5, 3 years, and we don't have facilities at all. Like the room is a seminar room where there are like big tables and big chairs.
Yes.
And it's like
You can create facility.
yeah,
It's just that
how to approach like the authority is sometimes difficult to.
I don't know, because what happens is that authorities also, they are people. They have their own priorities. There are certain things that they see as priority. Sometimes devotees come with other preaching, ideas which may not be the priority of that yatra. It just depends. Yeah, like if you talk to me, I like it, I immediately think of how to help you in my area of authority. But someone else may not be inclined towards youth and kids. He may have other priorities. Yeah. But since you are a leader yourself, you can, it's difficult. I would say, if it was in my area in Africa, you can rent a school hall nearby and use it for your Sunday gathering. Because in Africa, you can even be given that facility for free.
This area is actually the most expensive areas.
But Europe is expensive. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Europe is just very different. There are certain things that we have in Africa which in Europe are just sky high. Yes. So maybe it may be different here. Yeah.
It's not a danger, because sometimes it's misunderstanding of teaching and things, because these young people, they have the normal school outside, they have to study, they have to make tests, everything. And then it's weekend, it's Sunday, it's that free time.
Yes.
And we give them again teachings and tests and every these things. It's not also a danger that we...
You mean our kids?
Yes, exactly. That is too much for them, and then they get not attached about that. But I find this idea that we brought really nice, to give them things that they like to do.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah. We don't have to impose anything to children. We just have to find what really they like, what they can be comfortable with. Yes. And let them kind of like adjust as they grow. But when we become too authoritarian parents, get up from Mangalati, you must chant this 4 rounds, you must, and then it breaks that kind of, we repel them. Yeah. So that's the secret, is that children, if you are too authoritarian, you slowly repel them. You find that by the time they reach 18, they don't want to be with you. Yeah. So we have to create a situation where they are inspired to engage in bhakti. But we can't create a situation where we force them. To be born in ISKCON does not make you a devotee. A person still has to choose to be a devotee. We cannot just impose things on children just because they are our children, but they still have to choose, just as we have chosen to become devotees. Even though they are born in the movement, they still have to choose to be devotees.
Sometimes we keep for granted, oh, he's born a devotee.
No.
Demigod. He's the greatest birth, he's a demigod. And, yes.
No, it's a misunderstanding. He is not a devotee. As he grows up, he will choose to be a devotee. He has to choose to be a devotee. We have to create that environment where he can choose to be a devotee.
He would like to be one, no?
Exactly. Yeah, I've seen many children, we just impose things on them. Yes. But we have to create a situation there where they will be encouraged to be devotees.
And also, isn't it with the different personalities that they actually should be taught very differently? Because, for example, myself, I didn't like it at all if the school was like, yeah, you can try out and you can learn how you want or this and that, but I really wanted to have like the knowledge, the philosophy very straight, and then I like to discuss with teachers also about the things. And I see that some kids are like that. They don't want to just have a fun time. They really want to get things done and acquire knowledge. And some other kids, they're they don't like it.
Yes, you see, also there are different types of intelligence.
Yeah.
Some kids may have kinesthistical intelligence. Some children may have musical intelligence. Some may be philosophical. Some may not. So we have to see that and try to teach them, develop them accordingly.
Yeah. So
some children, they are not intellectually inclined. They may be good to be farmers, taking care of the cows, plowing the land. There are some children like that. Some are musical. They may just want to learn music and do music there. Philosophically, they may not be philosophical. So we have to recognize also that they are different, and then try to train them accordingly. Some may be just good to be trained as a chef, good cook. Yeah, we have to.
You emphasize it that we send different kids to different people who can teach them according to their nature as well.
Yes. Well, in Vedic culture, that's how people were trained. Yeah, according to their natures. If they are business people, we may just encourage them to do business for Krishna. Yeah. But they are not Brahmanical, they can't do pujari work. Or they are not to study Bhagavatam. So we have to facilitate them in such a way that they can utilize their natures properly. That's why I'm saying these dealing with children may require some facility where we can create our own schools. And in those schools we can see, okay, this child will be good as a pujari. He likes to worship in the deities, we develop him accordingly. Okay, this boy, he will be good in music. Then. So we train him to be a good kirtaniya. Or this boy who likes deity worship, okay, we take him for training how to be pujaris, how to do all the yagyas, Vedic sacrifices, wedding sacrifices. Some people are just like that. They were good doing yagyas, Some people may be Brahmanical, but they may not be interested in deity worship like me. I've never done deity worship. I like seeing the deities, but I'm not a person for guys. I'm a philosopher. I like studying philosophy and teaching philosophy. Yes, but I'm not good with chanting mantras. Yeah.
Pujari?
Me, I'm not a pujari person.
Cooking?
I cook for myself, not like cooking like I can cook for myself or cook for the deities if there is no one. I'm mainly like an outdoor traveler, village to village, town to town, meeting people, riding the boat on the Amazon River. I'm a person of adventures. Yeah, riding a long river in Siberia on a frozen river, that's for me. I'm a person of adventure, yeah. You can't make me a pujari or a temple president, no. I can do management for some chance, but I'm not like that. But outdoor, preaching, yeah, Buddhist preaching.
Sorry, we have a school class will just be coming in 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
There's a school coming?
We have a school.
Okay.
I mean, please stay. It will be nice if they can get your darshan.
Okay.
Not that you.
So that way children need to be trained according to the propensities that they acquired from nature. That's what Krishna says. Guna karma vibhaka. No one is born a Brahman. But you are a Brahman because of the qualities that you have acquired from birth.
So is it realistic to think that we should really develop these schools according to Varnashram?
It's more practical.
It's more practical, yeah.
Yeah, that some children may be just good.
spezieller Gast mit uns, Bhakti Nrsimha Swami. Er hat jetzt gerade eine Vorlesung gegeben und er kommt aus Afrika und ist auch ein Maharaj. You are initiating spiritual master. Yeah, you have disciples.
Me, I don't have disciples yet.
No.
Not yet. I'm just a son now.
So, er wird wahrscheinlich bei Ihnen oben über den Guru reden, den spirituellen Lehrer. Und er wird wahrscheinlich an einem gewissen Punkt auch anfangen, Schüler annehmen. Aber er ist da